an actor named Paul Walker.
Right.
We become very good friends, and he said, "Hey, we're gonna shoot this Fast and Furious in Puerto Rico. Come over."
Welcome to the Opposite Ends Podcast.
Today's guest is a legend in the world of MMA. He is an 8th degree red and white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and also a former Pan American champion. Rigan, thank you so much for doing this, and it's an honor to have you here today.
It's my pleasure. What a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so again, thank you so much for being here. It's really an honor to have you on the podcast. So basically, to get started, we would like to hear, we know that you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu legend with many accolades. You've worked with many acting stars, many films. But how did you get started? What was like the beginning for you?
The beginning was, I grew up in a city called Rio de Janeiro. My name is Rigan Machado. I'm cousins from the Gracies.
Okay.
The Grace who started the UFC, the legendary fight family. My relationship with the Gracies is through my mother. My mother's sister married Carlos Gracie, the founder. Carlos Gracie was the pioneer who started the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the Grace clan, the spread the Jiu-Jitsu, the mentality, the create the sport, the fighting, ground fighting style. And the reason I come close to him because he was very close to my mother. My mother was a very good friend of him. I grew up with a health problem. I have a very strong asthma. And I have another problem with dyslexia. And my brother's like A+ students. I have a struggle to be a B student. I studied 3 times private tutor, everything. And I have a lot of problem to do anything because I have asthma. Carlos was a nutritionist doctor who created a Grace diet, and he told my mother, "Let me take care of this kid. Let he come and live with me." I was in my 11, 12 years old. I moved to Carlos Grace's house. He started putting me to swim twice a day, every day. Like, let's put you to open these lungs and do a specific diet. I started doing the Carlos Grace diet. And through my cousin, I started doing Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. After a while, no more asthma. I started going to a specific school of dyslexia to improve, to understand how to learning. I started get better on that. After a while, my cousins start like me because I was very consistent with the training. I love to train, and I start doing good in competitions. And my coaches approach my mother and ask, "This kid have a potential. We need to have him full-time in a camp training. We believe he can be the next superstar in this sport." I like it. I moved to live again with Carlos Grace and end up training 6 hours a day. I have some of the best coaches. I was very lucky. I have Hoss Gracie, Crowlin Gracie, my cousin Helium Gracie, and my main coach, Carlos Gracie Jr. And I start winning one competition after another. I end up have 2 records. One is 365 fights, no loss, around 9 to 10 years.
So how old were you when you started training with them?
I started around 11, 12.
11, 12.
But I started doing a full camp around 14 to 15. Full camp, like 6 hours every day training, like 2 sections a day. And I started winning everything. For the next 9 years, I didn't lose for competition. I come very young, black belt, and
In your early 20s, right?
Yes, I got my black belt. I was the number one in the country at the time. Black belt with 17 years old. 17, I was one of the top 1 or 2 in the whole country. But this is interesting because I never, I believe the jiu-jitsu, the only reason today I'm connected to the jiu-jitsu, my cousins, the Gracies, because they asked, because I believe it was not this problem, I think I never be doing jiu-jitsu.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
I agree with you, it happened for a reason.
So what was like the turning point for you where you said that I really enjoy jiu-jitsu and I want to keep pursuing this?
Yeah, I think because I was a country kid. I grew up in a place small city. It was something like I moved to a place like Rio de Janeiro. I was overwhelmed. I think the competition, I got addicted to go to a war. What mean go to war? My addiction, I love to look the other fighter who really good. You want to fight for be the best on the arena. And my pleasure was to beat him, to have the victory. That was my pleasure. I didn't care about medal or title. I want to go to war. And the only way I feel these amazing feelings in case I get somebody who bring the adrenaline on me the highest. And that's when I start fighting the open class. I go to my coach, he asks him, please put me in the open class. I want to fight that big guy. I think I can beat him. My coach, are you sure? He's like over
and how much
200 pounds.
Yeah, how much were you weighing at the time?
I weigh, I have 3 phases. I have 85 kilos, which is
like about 190 pounds.
Yeah, after this I went to 215. After this I went to 230 pounds. 230 pounds was when they real dominate 100%. I fight anybody because I have the size, the strength, the speed to fight bigger guys my size. That was the perfect weight. I started lifting a lot of weights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was there like a certain competition where you said like, I love this. This is.
Yeah, I think because you spend so much time. My training was very simple. My coach have this crazy mentality, which before you come a hammer, you have to be a nail. I have to put the toughest guys to beat you up. You survive, you're gonna get used to survive these guys. Now your goal is to beat them, but you need to survive first. And he put me all these guys to beat me up, and I start surviving. And after a while, I start, okay, that's hell. Now let's see the lights. And suddenly like I start get the winning, start beating the guys in training. Suddenly like I got addicted.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in the movies. Now you're training with different acting stars like
Keanu Reeves, right?
Keanu Reeves and
yeah, I trained over 400 celebrities.
Oh wow,
400.
400.
So how did you get started in that?
The truth, I'm gonna tell you, I never liked Hollywood in the beginning.
right?
The reason I like movies, but I never care much about the Hollywood world. I care about the fighting world.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I started come close to Hollywood was an actor named Chuck Norris.
Wow.
Chuck Norris loved jiu-jitsu. He was the one who pushed me to stay. I want to go back to Brazil because I miss competition. He said, no, you're going to stay. And he opened my first school. He have a mall. He come to me, that's your new spot. He got my papers, he did everything. He brought all his friends. And pretty soon I said, okay, that's good. But the movie come through him. He have a TV show in Texas called Texas Ranger. And he started little by little, Riga, do a cameo here, do a little here. I want you to help to do a different fight scene. I said, okay, I'll do anything for you. But I started get phone calls from Steve Seagal, from Van Damme, some other martial artists. And I started thinking, what's going on? Like, what's this business? And it sounded like I work with Steve Seagal on the Siege 2. Pretty soon I met an actor named Paul Walker.
Right.
We became very good friends. And he said, hey, we're going to shoot this Fast and Furious in Puerto Rico. Come over. I said, okay, I go. Let's have some vacation in Puerto Rico. I start give some ideas on the Fast and Furious, his fight scenes. Van Diesel, we become friends on the set. And he said, oh, Riga, I want to learn more about Jiu-Jitsu. And little by little, Van Diesel was the one who actually changed my life, because later in the Fast and Furious 7, he come to me and said, hey, Riga, I want you to come to work. I think that's when Paul Walker died.
Right.
And when I was working for him, I was doing a collaboration between a fight between him and Jason Statham. When I was working for him, people already pay me before I arrive. They send me a check, just come here, help the fight choreographer and the stunt coordinator to figure out this grappling fight scene between both. Because both was not happy. It's like, I don't like it. In 10 minutes I fix. I said, that's my word. Do this. Awesome. And base, when they did that, Van Diesel said, porra, man, I need to do something for you. He asked for his wife, film here. He come, he said, hey, Rigan Machado is doing the best fight scene ever. Paul Walker, his teacher. He did the video, he put in his Facebook. But his Facebook have 100 million followers. At the time, he didn't have Instagram.
Right.
And so like I get thousands and thousands and thousands phone call. I didn't know even what's going on. Is Samantha, Vin's sister, come? I think you're going to get some phone calls because Vin put on his Facebook and his website, brag about you. Now everybody want to talk to you. You get a phone call from a company called 8711.
Oh, nice.
8711 was doing a movie with Keanu, John Wick. And Chad, I know Chad for 20 years. It's going to be the first movie he's directing and stuff. And when they come to John Wick, I was focused on John Wick 2. I look John Wick 1 and a complete breakdown what he's doing good, what he's not doing good. I gave a solution what to do for get him to the next level, because they want to add a lot of grappling, a lot of judo, jiu-jitsu, want to do more like the next generation of UFC in the world of films. I said, okay. And I got over there. I got Keanu. I said, Keanu, you need to transition. You're very stiff in some. I just need to get you to move better, like Mayweather in boxing, but in jiu-jitsu. And I put him to do a lot of drills, this and that, and he looked fantastic. He did. What I love about Keanu is the consistency. I never seen somebody ask so many questions, so many. He did a phenomenal job.
I think John Wick is one of the best action, movies out there. The action sequences look so realistic, and
yes.
I always used to wonder, how they got it so right.
You have to realize the reality
Right.
in the movies is right next to each other. You have to realize, like the time of Bruce Lee, the evolution from Chuck Norris, all Jack Chan, all those guys, but because the UFC start educate people, you have to learn the ground, you have to learn the west, you have to learn the strikes, and people start watching, understand what it is. So what happened? The new generation said we need to upgrade. We don't want to do something 20 years ago. We want to upgrade for the next generation of fighters. And that's when jiu-jitsu start come more popular. And it's something like I start work now in Black Panther.
Okay.
I start training Chadwick Boseman. And he was fantastic. I couldn't believe his ability physically. I said, man, you can be a champion in jiu-jitsu. You do the train, but he come rapping 210 pounds. I said, man, you look fantastic. He start getting cut for the Black Panther. Yeah, we training like maybe 5 months. I think when they come to the fight scene, he used little bit jiu-jitsu, not much like John Wick. They have a lot of fights and sword, like Africa style, all kind of stuff like that. And little by little, I start get phone calls. So like I start working Batman, Rob Pattinson, Charlie Hanna, who did Sons of Anarchy. Scarlett Johansson came to my school. E pretty soon we have Joel Kidman from Suicide Squad. Pretty soon start doing Mel Gibson coming up, start training.
So do you think that because jiu-jitsu it's an elegant sport with and a lot of people compare it to like a game of chess. It's really strategic and a lot of different movements. But I wanted your opinion to see what you thought about with how popular the UFC is now. People see jiu-jitsu as just a fighting sport, very very deadly, very dangerous. How do you think that the view or the image of jiu-jitsu has changed? Do you think that it's going to keep changing?
It's going to keep changing. That's just the beginning. I'm going to tell what happened. When they arrive here, we have no UFC. I'm here with my cousin Horio, Rickson, Royce, myself, maybe 4 or 5 guys, that's it. And Horio, the oldest one from the group, from the clan, he start thinking about, hey, we can do something. We can do prove to the world. His idea was not to do a business. His idea was to prove to the world the efficiency of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He believed...
The efficiency?
Yeah. He believed like 90% of the fights go to the ground. In case you don't break the fight, end up on the ground. And the best ground fighter, we were able to win the fight. Doesn't matter the size. And that's what we believe in, how to prove to the world. Let's do a fight, no limits, no rules. Put on the cage, only one is going to come out. And he come out, look crazy in the beginning. Even like I thought, man, are you sure they're going to let us do that? And it sounded like he found a place in some Indian reservation in Colorado. That's okay, do it. And he did. He brought the smallest one because he want to prove efficient. Said, "Oh, I'm going to bring Higgins, 250 pounds. Higgins look like a Greek god, muscles everywhere. Royce is the skinny one who don't look like, you know what I mean, an athlete. He went over there. He won the UFC 3 times. And sound like, I never seen that. Sound like explosion. I travel. I gave over 735 seminars in over 100 countries. Jiu-Jitsu.
Wow.
And I booked today myself over 1 year and a half advance. He sold out. I can sold out seminars like crazy. I never imagined to be involved in Hollywood. I never thought to travel around the world, to have a school in Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? It's for me, it's like overwhelming. You know what I mean?
So how do you think that changed the image of jiu-jitsu?
I think or
was it more of just putting it on the map?
Yeah, we never, because now it's not just the jiu-jitsu, it's a big business.
Right.
I think I give a lot of credit for Dana White, because Dana White, the president of UFC, he put this mixed martial art, who have a big piece of jiu-jitsu, in a business view, who made the company be worth billions and billions of dollars, and big pay-per-views everywhere. Now the fighters of UFC come big stars like Conor McGregor, all these guys, Khabib. These guys go back to Russia or go back to Europe, it's like gods. Yes, it's like the fighters from Brazil go back to Brazil, the president want to have a lunch with them.
Right.
And that's huge. And I think it's unbelievable, like how not just the fighting world grow, but the sport Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grow. Yeah, I give credit for a guy named Carlos Gracie Jr. who created an organization to create sport competition. Now is over 100, almost 220 countries. You know what I mean?
Right.
The sport's exploding. It's crazy.
So when you were younger, the goals that you set for yourself with jiu-jitsu and everything, would you say that you're living your dreams, or have you reached the goals that you set for yourself?
I think goals change. Nah? Example, today my goal is to cross over for different entertainments, for business, franchise, Hollywood, you know what I mean? And for me, that's more excited for me, to do the teaching. And for me, I like to go to the next level. As a pioneer in the business, to create new organizations, to get involved in franchise, to create films, to collaborate with celebrities. And that's my next challenge. That's something who get me very excited to be involved. You know what I mean? With jiu-jitsu.
What's the process of training someone who has no prior experience? I mean, some of these celebrities that you trained, like, I'm sure like not all of them had prior fighting experience. Like, how was it like getting them from like...
It's very easy for me because I have opportunity to teach close to over 10,000 people.
Right.
And I have a chance to manufacture. I come actually 8-time world champion.
Right.
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And for me, it's the process is very easy. The way I do is two different Rigans. It's the one we hang out here, we talk. The other one is at the gym. At the gym, I'm not your friend.
The warrior.
I'm the coach. The way I coach, like I give you an example. One time, this celebrity came to my academy. I'm not allowed to say the name. Was a musician actually. Was not an actor. But he came with an entourage of 12 people. A big bodyguard, which was 6'8" or 6'9", ex-football player, but come bodyguard or something. He come in my academy, he walk with the shoes on the mat, go change, don't even say hi. I just look quiet, look to everybody, noise, talking. I didn't say anything. When he come back, I come to him, hey sir, can I ask a question? You're the first celebrity I'm going to teach. I have a procedure, I have to talk to you. I talk to you like a normal person or like a normal student. I just want to be sure I follow the rules. And he said, no, treat me like a normal person. When he said that, I come 1 inch from his nose. I said, listen here. This is like my church. I pay my dues to have respect here. This is a place. I'm the pit bull, you the chihuahua. I'm the general, you the soldier. In case you want to learn what I have to offer for you, which I'm the best in this business, I will get you there. But you have to learn rules. Number one, respect. Over here, you don't call me Rigan, you call me sir. You don't leave the mat or don't come in the mat without my permission. Because the relationship with the teacher and the student is a secret in this place. You want to learn it from me, I will do my best to get you the best lean, mean fight machine. But that's my rules.
Man, I got chills already.
His eyes got open. And he said, by the way, all this entourage got to go. The bouncer stayed, but it sounded like he gave a class. He loved it. But the bouncer didn't shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Chris.
You can say anything.
Say whatever you want.
He didn't shut up. I just keep looking and said, poor man, what an annoying guy. It sounded like he went to change. I called the bouncer, hey, let's spar a little bit. Let me show me what you got. Yeah, beat the shit out of the bouncer. When the celebrity came, the guy have a big body, was almost have a heart attack over there. In the next time the guy came, Yes, master, he. And the guy pulled me in the corner and said, man, can I say something? The best thing happened to me was you. You remind my uncle. The only one who talked to me, who put me in my place, is my uncle.
Right.
Everybody I lost the sense of what's real, what's not. And for me, my culture in my world is different. You leave everything outside. When you come in here, I want to see your mind and your body. First, I want to work you to get a strong mind. Without your mind, your focus, your determination, I can't take you anywhere. The body is the easy part. But I will connect both. But I want to be sure, like, when I train you, you have to be a good student. I'm a good coach. You come a good student, and every bullshit stay outside, we're going to do a good job. When you have this kind of experience, you get some celebrities come over there, you kind of little by little educate him the rules. Because, brother, I don't care who the biggest celebrity in the world. You step in this world, you're nobody. Get your respect. Get your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my culture, when they walk on the mat and start training, have 100 people on the mat. Automatically, when they start roll, people start moving away. Why? Because they have more respect on the mat than anybody. You know what I mean? And these have this respect mutual in fighters. This is amazing because you step in this world, it's a different ball game. Get your respect. You know, get people to look in your eyes, say, yes.
You have to earn it.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I believe it in the same outside. You step in any business, prove yourself.
Right.
You want to be a UFC champion, prove yourself. You want to be a big movie star, prove yourself. Fight, put your time and make it happen. You know what I mean? That's what I teach people when they come to the academy. Put a will behind you. Work 110%. You'll make things happen. You know what I mean? That's what that's why when the celebrities come over there, a lot of celebrities, for some reasons, the environment break them down mentally. I don't know, 90% of the celebrities I train mentally is broke. My world is simple. You know what I mean? But I said, man, how I can fix this guy is simple. Just put him to be a good student, and we get him focused, stronger, and little by little guiding him. Because for us, it's not just to train the students, to train them to become a better person, a better health person, to kind of health mind. You know what I mean? Anything he want to do, we want to motivate him to go in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's a big misconception about fighting sports, but especially with jiu-jitsu is, you know, people go with the mentality of just, you know, I want to learn how to fight, I want to learn how to defend myself, et cetera, but, you know, you're really just breaking yourself down mentally, you're getting more disciplined.
It's actually, your father was a good motivation for a lot of the fighters we have. Like example, we grew up, my coach put us, oh, look this, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Look this, the movie Braveheart, all these good examples to we are teenagers and we Rocky, all this. These kind of movies have so much impact in generations like athletes like mine. That's when the first time I saw your father, Arnold, I didn't know even what to say. I stayed quiet because I said, man, this guy's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I watch all his movies. I know it's no big deal. He's not a human being. But as a teenager to watch these guys, like I think the first was not a movie. It was Pumping Iron. Right?
Yeah, Pumping Iron.
That for me was something who blew me away. It's like how mentally he was the number one. I remember I don't know what's Pumping Iron. I think his father died. And his mother called him. He have a competition, I think, the next day or something. He said, later I deal with this problem. Now I have to finish.
Yeah, you got to stay cold.
Man, that was, I said, shit. I have a good example for you. One time, I was in a fight. Yeah, before the finals, I have some, we call the tune-up fights. We already, by look to the guy, you know you're going to beat the guy. But this guy was a dirty fighter. They sometimes come with tricks. Some of the tricks that some of these fighters use, they try get you upset to create a fight. And when you get the fight, you get disqualified. It's against the rules. In sport, you can't do that. You got it? He based this guy on the fight coming, headbutt me on the nose. Boom! I did like this, my nose started bleeding. I looked at the referee, I looked at him, nobody say anything. And it sounded like, okay. It sounded like when the referee go behind him, I grabbed the gi, boom, headbutt him on the nose. His nose started bleeding. We looked at each other. Okay, now let's fight. I know your tricks, you know what I mean? And we fought, I ended up beating him. We shaking hands, I come to here. We finish or we still have to go outside and finish this business? He said, no, we finish. We finish because I got your trick, man. And it's not headbutt who's going to lose my focus, you know what I mean? But all these little things you learn, you know, by doing a lot of fights, a lot of competition. You're always going to find a guy who try trick you to distract you or get you disqualified in some level, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you get used.
So what do you think the biggest thing that you learned in this process of your career since the beginning? What was the biggest aha moment?
The most important thing I learned is my philosophy: leave your ego at the door. I'm gonna explain.
Leave the ego at the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
In anything, I don't let the ego. I don't like the pride. I don't like greedy. I try consistent fight against all these principles, because to treat people equally, to be a good person, good things always happen to you. I think the moment you start treat people, think you're better than everybody, you start creating like envy, you start creating all kind of issues. The positivity and the good energy, for me, I love that. I love to be surrounded people who value my friendship. I love to learn in consistency with people and surround my people who I admire, you know what I mean, as a mentor in many different levels. But the story I'm going to tell you, in my young age, I have a competition. I have 12 fights. I beat everybody. I was a teenager. And my coach was Horace Grace. And he asked me a question like, hey, how you feel after you beat these guys? Yeah, basically, I answer like, oh, I'm the best. Nobody beat me. Or some bullshit answer like that. Oh, yeah, okay. Next week, instead, you come, the teenager time, come on the adult time, the higher class. I said, wow, I'm allowed to come to the higher class, the adults, all the black belts. Oh, I love it. I'm all excited, but I didn't know I have a price on my head.
Oh.
When I got over there, I have 60, the best guys in the country training there. It sounded like the warm-up, just the warm-up was an hour and a half. I said, poor man, going upstairs, carrying people. I said, boy, this warm-up stuff. But even with the an hour and a half warm-up, I love it. Say, yeah, that's what it takes to be a champ. I mean, but it sounded like I put to do drills and things and throws with the heavyweight. And little by little, I said, boy, my legs start get tired. He right away put me to train with the highest guy, black belts. I was a beginner, was a blue belt, the first belt. They stopped beat the shit out of me. I remember that day, I got beat up like 200 times, tap. One guy hit me so hard on the ground, I cough blood. One guy choked me, I tap, I pass out. The other guy popped my arm, I have to put a cast.
This is all in one day?
One day.
Jesus Christ.
One guy was passing, the guy elbowed me on the nose, broke my nose. And I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was in the locker room, I didn't know what to think. I just looking the water drip for 20 minutes. I didn't know, because it's very difficult in your mind. One day you're the top of the world, and the next day you're the worst. You kind of difficult to line up the feelings. I was numb. I said, what the hell is going on? I couldn't feel. I was just look at the water like the world fall in my head. I don't know what to think. And he came in the locker room and he put me in the corner and said, the day you think you're good, that's going to happen. It's better you get your priority straight, be humble, and always take everybody serious. He gave me a phenomenal speech that day changed me. From that day, I completely knew Rigan born, which I transferred that to my brothers, for my students, and I still follow the same philosophy because the moment you think you that big, something bad is going to happen. I don't know why, but I follow that philosophy.
So what's next for you? What's the next big move?
Is I love to, one of my challenge, it's kind of funny, when I was like my 12 or 13, I already know what I want. I wrote in homework for school. I want to travel around the world. I want to be a world champ. I want to move to California, like something like I want to do movies or do something like that. And I traveled to over 100 countries. I come 8-time world champion, the cover of over 100 magazines, more than 20 countries. And just like last week, I produced my first movie who got theatrical release.
Oh, congrats.
Doing book like 6 movies, one after another. Doing a movie next month, Frank Grillo. After this, doing movies, John Travolta, with Frederico Lapena in Brazil. You know what I mean? I think the moment you challenge yourself and keep the consistency, you accomplish anything you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, always look up to guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. That's my generation who always was success for me. And I try follow, I want to one day to follow these guys' success steps in this industry now, which I think is beautiful, wonderful. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for all the motivation. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's a real honor to have you on here.
Yeah, my pleasure, sir.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.